The Los Angeles Lakers got to sign Chris Paul before the start of the season. Let me explain why. So the Lakers just signed DeAndre Ayton. That's going to be their starting center. They're going to have Jackson Hayes be their backup center. Now, when you look at DeAndre Ayton, his best years in the NBA so far is when he played with Chris Paul and the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns went to the NBA Finals against the Milwaukee Bucks, and Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton, they played very well together. Now, they didn't really get along, mainly because Chris Paul was pushing DeAndre Ayton to unlock his full potential. And it just didn't work out, right? Chris Paul is a teammate that he's not going to sit there and not tell his teammates what they need to hear. When he was playing with the Clippers, he also did not get along with DeAndre Jordan and Blake Griffin, right? But when you look at Blake Griffin, you look at DeAndre Jordan, you look at DeAndre Ayton, they all had all of their best years in the NBA with Chris Paul, because Chris Paul is arguably the best all-around point guard as far as skills of all time. That's why they call him the point guard, right? He had Lob City with the Clippers. He was always setting up Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan to get easy alley-hoop dunks. And he just, he makes the game so much easier for his other teammates on the court, right? Now, Luka Doncic, right? So Luka Doncic is considered a point guard, right? He switches between playing point guard and shooting guard. If the Lakers want to have a real chance of competing in the playoffs and going to the Western Conference Finals, they have to have a true point guard on the team that can make sure that everybody is scoring. Now, I don't consider Luka Doncic a point guard. I consider Luka Doncic a shooting guard that plays point guard. He's a score-first player. He's not the best passer. He's not good at setting up his teammates. If you look at his season last year on the Lakers, he would do the same thing every play. He would dribble, drive to the paint, act like he's going to shoot, do a pump fake, and then pass to Dorian Finney-Smith. He did the same thing every time. He's so predictable on offense. Chris Paul is not predictable on offense. You're not signing Chris Paul to average 15 to 20 points per game. You're signing Chris Paul to average 10 assists a game or more. You understand what I'm saying? Chris Paul is unpredictable. When Chris Paul brings the ball up the court, you don't know if he's going to throw an alley-hoop pass. You don't know if he's going to shoot a three. You don't know if he's going to go for a layup, right? You don't know what's going to happen. Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton, they already know how to play together because they played together on the Suns. They got to the finals. Like I said, DeAndre Ayton's best years was with Chris Paul. Chris Paul can play with anybody. Chris Paul on the team, you could have Chris Paul start at point guard, Luka Doncic start at shooting guard. You could put